गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः।
The technique of living in this world can be of two types. One type, we live and suffer. Other type, we live and enjoy. Now the first technique, we are all experts. There is nothing to discuss about it. As regards sufferings are concerned, everybody is self-sufficient. Now, is there any possibility that we really enjoy our life? Are we born to suffer? Or we are born to celebrate life? Are we born to get deceived and deceive others? Or are we born to live in the dignity of alertness? Are we born to die? Or we are born to live? The choice is ours. Many times what happens, we do one job and create problems of other type. So for us, doing one job is creating additional job. And thereby we create public undertakings in India, Today the condition in our country is only because of this. We do not want to create wealth. We want to create jobs. When jobs are created, wealth is not created. But when wealth is created, jobs are also created. This we don't understand. And the result is a job which demands only one person. Out of charity for the national conscience, we appoint 10 people. So when 10 people are appointed, thereafter we are left with 9 additional people for the same job. So these 9 people themselves will not work, and the one person who is working, he is not allowed to work. This is how the technique of living is faulty. So what should be the technique? I have seen in once somebody came to my room. From then onward I don't allow anybody to clean my room. Many times they say, Swamiji, we want to serve you. So what is the service? So first thing, you be happy where you are. That is the highest service for me. No, we want to come and serve you physically and trouble you. That is our service. So one person came and Swamiji, shall I dust and clean? So how can he say no? I said, okay, do. So what was done? All the dust which was hidden below the shelves and the almirahs and the bed, it was brought out and distributed equally, magnanimously in the whole room. See, yogastha kuru karmani. If action results into the result of action, is there any technique by which we live in this world but don't create problems? Most of us live and create problems. This is what the teacher begins the theme in the 48th verse. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. You work in such a manner that you don't create problems for you. We all have following categories one way or the other. Either somebody creates problem for us and we try to solve. One lifestyle. Second lifestyle, we create problem for others and make them solve. Third lifestyle is we create problems for ourselves and want others to solve. This is how many times people come and ask. One girl asked me, Swamiji, I know I am going wrong. I know my behavior is totally wrong, but I don't know how to come out of it. Now see, so we create problem for ourselves. So here the teacher says, Yogastaha kuru karmani. The technique of living in this world is such that don't create problems for yourself. How to do that? Sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. First technique. Don't be obsessed with anything. Obsession regarding performance of a job. Obsession regarding the doership. I alone can do, nobody can do. There are people who never like anything being done by anybody. I always remember with reference to this, one old friend of mine, he is no more by God's grace. Everything happens in this world by God's grace. I never liked cutting fruits and eating fruits. One day it so happened, very hungry and no food. Many times people invite for the food and forget. So I suffer, there is no choice. Samatvam yoga uchyate. So, there are those, I was feeling so hungry, then I took some fruits which were lying and just wanted to cut and eat. So I sat before my friend. When he saw, he shouted, "Stop that! That is not the way." I said, all right. He took the fruits, the utensils, the knife, went to the bathroom, washed them, cleaned them, came in. Now look. He started cutting, I started eating. So, many of us have got this funny notion. Only I can do a job, nobody else can do. So this attachment of doing a job, attachment regarding a particular type of result alone should come, is creating problems in life. So, Yogastha Guru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya Siddhya Siddhyoho Samo Bhutva. Now the next thing, when you do something in your life, sometimes it will be okay, sometimes it will not be okay. This is how the world is. There is no way out. Every time, everything cannot happen according to our choice. And our choice is also not steady. Sometimes we like this, sometimes we don't like that. So, the results we are not steady about, the results themselves are not steady, therefore siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva, and therefore samatvam yoga uchyate. Equanimity is the technique of living life fruitfully and cheerfully. So equanimity is the foundation of our existence. Whenever we work in this world, there are three places where we get involved with every action. First, before the action begins. Second, at the time of doing the action. And third, after the action is done. Before the action is done, our attachment involvement is with reference to the doership. With reference to extreme involvement in anything that we want to do. First. Second thing, while doing the karma or the action, we are projecting our personal prejudice, likes or dislikes, with every action. So if I like, I will do. If I don't like, I will not do. On the contrary, what should be the technique? If we are supposed to do something, we should like it. If we are not supposed to do something, we should be happy with it. But normally we have this liking and disliking very strong. So if something comes to me which I don't like, how will I do it? Half-heartedly. I don't know, again the same thing and I have to do and I am getting fed up of it. And you do it. There is no choice. And suppose you like something and if you don't get that job, then the person who gets that job, we start comparing. See how useless it is done. If it was given to me, I would have done better. So second, attachment at the time of doing the karma or action. The third place of attachment. After the karma is done, action is done, results are bound to come. Now when the results come, we must have the magnanimity to accept whatever comes to us as a result of our own action. Many times we have overestimated ourselves. Many times we have underestimated ourselves. Many times we are confused about everything. And therefore when the results are due to come, that time we are not steady. So if we can control ourselves and our relationship with the karma at three levels, before doing the karma, at the time of doing the action, and after the action is done. When these three places, if equanimity is maintained, we are established in karma yoga, the scientific art of living dynamically. Karma yoga means this. So, siddha siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Now see what happens. What is the meaning of samatvam? This example I gave you a number of times. Again I will tell. A doctor is successful if his differential diagnosis is perfect. If the diagnosis is wrong, he cannot prescribe properly. So, one patient comes and the doctor examines him. After the doctor has examined, he gives the diagnosis, this fellow is suffering from dysentery. He should be given the following medicines. Now that patient goes. Along with the patient, if the dysentery doesn't go, and dysentery remains with the doctor. So when the next patient is coming, who is the examiner? Doctor plus dysentery. Now this doctor is so much overpowered by the dysentery that when he sees the second patient, he is already biased that he must be suffering from dysentery. And as a result, his diagnosis will not be correct. So if I want to have correct differential diagnosis, what is required is first patient seen, diagnosed and discarded totally. Again new window is open, click, open new window. And then again invite another patient. See that patient, after that is over, again click out. Again the third window, the third patient. Then only our mind remains unbiased. Therefore, whenever we are doing any action in our life, if our mind remains totally equanimous, unbiased, such a mind alone can perfectly function in this world. Now take for example, it happens many a times. In houses, I will give few examples from the houses, then in the society. When I am angry with my husband, but I can do nothing about him. What do? The nearest victim is the child. So what is happening? The frustrated wife is operating as a frustrated mother. Frustration is common. So, who became frustrated as a wife? But the frustration was not limited to the wife. It was contaminating the other role that I have to play as a mother. And therefore I become very angry with my daughter or son. And the children think, I think whenever mummy and daddy has fight, I am the victim. They have got their own understanding. Now what is the reason? Reason is, I am unable to limit my interaction with the world to a particular event. It is spreading over. Similarly, if I am a husband and I go to office after fighting with the wife, now that frustrated husband who has caught hold of the briefcase and gone to the office, he will somehow or the other become so angry on everybody. There is no reason. So the frustrated husband was born. He went to the office as an officer. He ceased to be a husband, but frustration is carried over. See? And therefore samatvam yoga uchyate. This is the foundation of life. If we are able to not mix issues in life, then alone we remain all the time in the present. Now one more example. Let us go deeper and deeper in understanding. Many times we are carrying the load of some commissions and omissions in our life. Everybody has done something good or something bad in his or her life. Everybody. Those who say no, they are deceiving themselves. Now, if we have done something bad sometime in the past, now it's over, drop it. But we are not able to do that. We carry that load throughout our life and then become frustrated. I don't know why I did this. There was one girl who met me long time back. And she got married nicely, everything fine. And one day she came alone and she said, Swamiji, I got one problem. Please help me. I said, if it is husband problem or mother-in-law problem, because I got different doses for different problems. Tell me. Yes, Swamiji, problem is not outside, problem is me. I said, okay, what is the problem? Then she said, Swamiji, my husband is very sweet. I said, this is a problem or what? You want a spicy husband or what? I said, no, listen, my husband is very sweet. He is so sincere. He told me everything about his life. Now something very bad has happened in my life, which I am telling you only. Nobody knows in this world. Other than me, now I am telling you. But I want your guidance that this is what has happened in my life. Now he is so sincere to me. It comes to my mind now and then that I should also tell him everything that has happened in my life. So please advise. I said, please don't tell. There is no need. But is it not deception? I said, no. If you feel it is deception, you put that sin on my head. I will suffer in the hell. But you don't tell. He said, okay, Swamiji, if you tell me not to tell, I will not tell. Life continued. Another child born, 2 children. About after 8-10 years, when the Chandramukhi becomes Suryamukhi, Suryamukhi becomes Jwalamukhi, thereafter there is only jhagda all the time. Fire brigade is on. And then the dialogues of the husband. In your mother's place, this is the way people live. And then this girl, yes, I know what is your mother's place. Then tutu mai tutu begins. And again that girl came after 8-10 years. Swamiji, do you remember me? I said, no. I delete after the operation is over. Then, Swamiji, I came with this problem and this has happened and you told me not to tell and I listened to you, I did not tell. Now I think what I have done is right. Every small little thing he picks up. In the marriage, this is what was done by your parents. I am not like that. What they think about themselves. Now he is finding out one or the other reason to find faults and put me down. I just imagine if I had told him the truth, he would not have allowed me to survive. See how important it is. Therefore, the main idea should be nothing in this world should leave any disturbance in our mind. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Now be attentive. We are not that type that we forget the things immediately. We hold on to the things throughout life. And that what is to be remembered, that we forget. And that what should be forgotten, that we remember also. Many times, I came across, particularly, middle class family. This is very funny. Middle class families are terribly egoistic. So, in one house, there was a jhagda between, I think, the brother and the sister. Childhood jhagda. And then they grew up, became old. And the sister was on the deathbed, 85 or 90. During childhood, this boy, this brother has said something, I will not talk to you. And did not talk throughout life. And that old sister has only one regret. My brother has done everything for me, but he did not talk to me. I have got only one desire. He should simply call me Didi, how are you? But he refused to talk. See what a great egoistic personality. Can't we forget and forgive? Friends, the more we forget and forgive, we remain in the present. If we don't forget and forgive, we are bringing the dead past in the present. The more you carry the load of your past, you cannot be equanimous. Therefore, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate means, let us learn to live in the past. Whatever has happened, good and bad in the past, now forget about it. Let us not carry the load again and again. And this ability is called as living life dynamically. This is one quality which I like very much of the Westerners. The other day I met somebody and she introduced me. Swamiji, he is my ex-husband, he is my ex-husband and she is his present wife. And so cheerfully and happily. If you have discarded somebody, that doesn't mean you have to be bitter, no need. Bitterness is the worst kind of load that we carry on our mind. It is not necessary that all of us have to live together all through, no need. If you want to part cheerfully, not miserably. When you part miserably, you carry the scar on your mind, the load. Therefore, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. What has happened has happened. Now let us not mix one issue with another issue. When we live our life without mixing issues, we remain in the present. Now, exactly this moment example. You are now listening to me. Now, while listening, so many examples I am giving you. If one example takes you to some event in your life, you get carried away. Swamiji ko kaise pata chala? I think he knows everybody's mind. I think he is reading my mind. Therefore, I am very afraid to look at him. There are few people who come and tell me, Swamiji, I tell you very frankly, Swamiji, I am afraid of you. Because you tell things and they are exactly concerning me. Is it that you read the minds? I said, I have got better things to read. Then what happens? We get carried away by the past experiences and the present topic that we are learning, that we get lost. Therefore, this is simple technique. What is the technique? When you are a husband, be only husband. When you are a wife, be only wife. When you are a mother, be only mother. Don't mix up the various personalities. And when you mix up the various personalities, frustration one side is distributed on other side. Misappropriation of the role effects. Therefore, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Now, one step further. This is demonstrated in the life of Bhagavan Sri Krishna very beautifully. When he was in Gokul, he was in Gokul. When he came to Vrindavan, he was in Vrindavan. When he came to Mathura, he was in Mathura. When he went to Dwarka, he was in Dwarka. He never looked back. Let us not look back again and again. And this is what happens. Elderly people are not able to enjoy today because all the time they are talking about their past. Remember that other day I told you, everybody is interested in their future, not in our past. See the tragedy. But with the children when we are talking, same thing. Jab hum jawan the. Who cares? We are worried about our future. Because we are never trained ourselves, then I have to remain in the present. Friends, when you are in absolute present, you have to be cheerful. When a joke happens, when you laugh, you know what happened that time? That time you are in the absolute present. Because in that burst of laughter, you break the barrier of time. And those who are not able to laugh, they are carrying the load of their personality on their head. Therefore, it is very essential. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Remain all the time in the present with equanimity. So what is to be done about the past? Forget. Swamiji, you don't have to tell us. We have already forgotten what you talked yesterday. See, now when you laugh this time, you know what happened? You have released yourself. And when you release yourself, you are in the present. Otherwise, you are all the time holding the past and the future and the worries and the tension. You know, past is a tense. Present is a tense. Future is a tense. So when you live in the past, in the present and the future tenses, living in the tenses is a life full of tensions. But if you live in the presence, not the present, the life is cheer and happiness. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Then what is to be done about the past? Be very attentive. In the childhood, we all have gone through an experience that if you put your finger in the fire, you get burned. So we have forgotten that experience, but the wisdom that we have learned out of that experience, wisdom is not a load. Very important. If you are living with your wife and children, for example, and if you have some bitter experience, Swamiji, remove if. So if you have some bitter experiences, now if you have learned something from that, your life will be different. And if you carry the load of that bitterness throughout your life will be different. Therefore, forgetting the past means learn from your experiences, gather wisdom. The moment you gather wisdom, you drop that event from your mind. This is how, if we learn from our experiences, we grow wise. And that is what is called as a guru. Guru is not someone outside standing there, waiting with a jhadu in your hand, in his hand to clean your heart. No. If we refuse to learn, even the Lord cannot teach us. But if we can learn even from a passing statement, that Guru is very much available in our heart. Therefore, Samatvam yoga uchyate, let us not bring the past and destroy the present. Similarly, we destroy our present by all the time worrying about the future. The more you worry about the future, the more we are not available in the present. So, when our mind goes in the future, we are not in the present. When our mind carrying the load of the past, we are not in the present. So what we are doing, we can have no choice but to live in the present. But in the present, we refuse to be in the present. We are creating tension and problems for us. Therefore, Samatvam yoga uchyate. The more you remain in the present, you are relaxed. You are alert. You are vigilant. You are capable. All your faculties become absolutely sharp. When your faculties are sharp, your perceptions are perfect. When perceptions are perfect, your life is perfect. So, siddhya siddhyoho samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Therefore, the bottom line of all the discussion is only one thing. Function in the outer world, but keep attention what is happening to your mind. Let there be no turbulence in the mind. Let the mind remain calm and quiet. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Now, if this is said, we can also mistake, because we are experts. We can mistake. Oh Lord understood one thing. Why? I have decided not to do anything. Samatvam yoga uchyate. In deep sleep, samatvam yoga uchyate doesn't make any difference. Whether you are on the bed or below the bed, it makes no difference. Because samatvam, that is not the meaning. We have to be dynamically living in this world, and yet equanimity should not be given up. Otherwise, this wisdom will be equated to the indolence. It is not indolence. We have to be dynamic. At the same time, we have to be equipoised. And therefore, Bhagavan says, Durena yavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharanam anvichha kripanaha phalahetavaha. Those who are working for the wages, phalahetavaha, working for the wages. Those who are working for the wages, they are the most lowest kind of people. Every time thinking in terms of this, what will I get? What will I get? Can't we work for something higher in life? Or what can I give to the world? You know that standard statement of the Kennedy, President of US. Don't ask what the country has given you. Think what you have given to the country. When our attitude changes, the life is totally different. Therefore, kripanaha phalahetavaha. All the time thinking in terms of what do I get, what do I get. And this kind of philosophy from the West has started percolating in our Indian society also. The other day, I was in some of the Western countries, and that son was to be told to do some work. And the mother was coaxing, hey, come on, now you please mow the lawn, has become very grown up, and daddy is not well, and you finish the job. Mom, $2, $3. So when I do that job, I should get that much payment. Whenever we evaluate our every activity in terms of money, we are labor throughout life. Let us not be laborers of life. Let us be the Swami, the masters of life. Instead of getting, let us give to the world. Friends, the joy in giving is far superior than the joy in receiving. When you get something to eat, chocolate or something rare, you immediately put it in your purse. When these ladies go, I had an opportunity to look into the purses of the ladies number of times. When you get down from the flight, and if it is international flight, just open the purse of that lady. Chocolates and various kinds of things and all that, all contained. What for? My son likes it. My daughter likes it. So they will not eat. They will carry that load and give to the daughter or the son. And when the child eats, aha, the mother is so happy. That is the joy of giving, not the joy of taking. If we can discover happiness in giving something to someone whom we love, and if we love the whole world, we will only be giving. Kripanaha phalahetavaha. Rather than the selfish attitude of life, what do I get if I do this thing? That is not the way of living. So, durena yavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Bhagavan says, hey Arjun, Dhananjaya, the most successful man in life is who? Durena havaram karma buddhi yogat. Only working like a labor to earn. He is not a great lifestyle. Work in such a manner that you grow in your inner strength. Buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means this understanding. When you live and grow wise, that is called as life. When you grow and grow wide, not wise, that is not a lifestyle. How much will I get? How much will I get? And that is the reason why we as individuals are excellent, very successful. But when it comes to togetherness, we become failure because who will give whom? There was a king and he wanted to take bath in milk. And he wanted that milk bath from the milk to be given by the subjects, by his praja, by the people. So there was an announcement. Tomorrow the royal king wants to take bath in the milk. So every person is required to come at night, put one bucket or one lota full of water, full of milk into that particular tank. Tomorrow morning there will be a royal bath. All are invited to see the royal bath. So the minister said, sir, don't do that way. You ask them to come and pour milk on you. No, I don't want that. All right. Next day, the royal king came and the container was uncovered and the king wanted to take bath and there was pure water, not one drop of milk. Then this king looked at the minister. What happened? He said, sir, the people of our country are very intelligent. Everybody thought that nobody will know. And therefore, somebody will put milk, somebody will put water. And therefore, somebody has put water and somebody has put water. And nobody will know. And therefore, everybody has put water. See? So whenever we are living, very, very important principle, unless we learn to give, taking is no lifestyle. So, durena varanam karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya. Let us grow by giving to something or somebody, because buddhau sharanam anvichya, and therefore sharanam, surrender yourself to right understanding of living. Be very attentive. If our performance in the outer world makes us grow wise, we are living scientifically perfectly. If our living in the outer world does not make us wise, but we go on becoming otherwise day by day, and then toward the end of our life, we have nothing but complaints. What are our complaints? Swamiji, these days the children don't respect the elders. Friends, whenever respect is demanded, we don't command. And why we don't command respect? What is there in us that the people should respect us? Do we have even 1% quality? Our children have nothing to see as an ideal in us. Think. If our children are able to see something great person in us, every child will like to become like his mother or father. There was one father who was scolding his child. You must study hard, you must get good marks, otherwise you will never get a good job. So the child said, Daddy, you did not study because he was a clerk. So, whenever we are living, attention should be what is happening inside. Now one step further. Living does not mean only earning livelihood. There are many more things. From our life's experiences, if we go on really learning, what will happen? In Mundaka Upanishad, this thought comes. There it is said, Parikshalokan karmajitan brahmanaha nirvedamayat nasti akrutaha krutena. If you look back in your life, and if you have not learned from your earlier mistakes, you have wasted your life. Very important. Like, many people, I have seen one man, he got married, and first year the baby was born and the wife died. Baby became 3 years. Then the mother said, Beta, how will you look after the baby? Get married again. Okay, mommy, for your sake I get married. Again, after 1 year, another girl born and the wife died in the delivery. Again, 3 years. Beta, you please I won't be with you all the time. Okay, mama, for your sake I get married. He repeated this performance, giving birth to the baby and the wife dying in the hospital 3 times. And yet he did not learn. Now, if our skin is like that of a rhino, you take the needle and put inside and it bends. Therefore, if we become little intelligent, let us learn from the life's experiences. Those who have learned from the life's experiences, they have understood this principle, Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Now one step further. If we look into our life, all those things for what we were becoming mad at a particular stage of our life, when we are little grown up, we ridicule our foolishness during that childhood period. You must have experienced yourself. Suppose you are playing lot of good marbles during childhood or gilli danda. During childhood, that is the wealth. But after becoming grown up, and if you fight with your own son for the marble, then we can only pity on you. Can't we learn that when one object made me mad in childhood, but now I am grown up, I don't care for that object, presence or absence. The same thing will hold good now also with so many things. Therefore, wisdom is learning from the life that if you really want happiness, something great in your life, it is not outside, it is within. Focus attention within. Friends, if you are happy within, your life without will be wonderful. If you are miserable within, you will have all the luxuries outside and you will be luxuriously miserable. See the people, many people, all the luxuries and riches of the life, but look at their faces. So frustrated, so dejected. And there are people, recently I was in Australia, I was staying with one family, such a divine family, both doctors, husband, wife, 3 children, all the 3 children doctors, and that Amma and her husband, so cheerful and happy, not carrying the load of frustration even 1 minute, and wonderful life. So to be happy and cheerful, place is not the condition. How you are, that determines what is the quality of your life irrespective where you are. The other examples we have seen, one mother came from US and she brought her 2 children, 2 daughters. One daughter about 12 years, other about 10 years. They should study in India because their things are bad. And these 2 daughters, they have among themselves understanding. They have observed absolute mauna. Anything mother talks, they will not reply. Like a Dumbo. You will take food, no talking. You have to do this thing, no talking. Such a strong revolt, whole day they came from there, no talking. They stayed in India with me for 3 days, not one Hari Om. I will go and talk, coax, give chocolate. That's it. Then they were admitted in the school. In the school, not talking to the teacher, not to anybody. 6 months those girls didn't talk to anybody. The mother went mad. Finally took them back. The moment they went back, everything is normal. Then she said, Swamiji, why this is happening? I said, Amma, the more you become frustrated, the more you will suffer in life. Please understand, children are not born to us, they are born through us. Take this one principle with you. You will be absolutely happy. Live with proper understanding. Therefore, buddhau sharanam anvichya. What is the buddhi? What is the understanding? When you live in the outer world, take care of your inner quality. If your inner peace and tranquility is maintained, wherever you are on the top of the world without a mobile in the hand. Now, once this understanding is perfect, then the teacher says, Buddhi yukto jahati ha ubhe sukrita dushkrute tasmad yoga yujasva yogaha karmasu kaushalam. If you have to go and clean some room or something, and after cleaning you have become so dirty, that is not the type of work you should do. We have to clean the dirt, but dirt should not destroy our clothing. Take proper care. Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. What is the kaushalam here? What is meant? When you do some action, there will be some result. And the result will come and start troubling you. So why not do action in such a manner that results will come, but they will not trouble you? See how beautiful? If you know that technique, you have learned the art of living perfectly. Many a times, youngsters, they come under many pressures. One is the study pressure, second is the peer pressure, third is the mummy pressure, fourth is the daddy pressure, fifth is the dada pressure, sixth is the dadi pressure, and they are having so many pressures. Ultimately, at the younger age, they develop blood pressure. Now, they are unable to take the whole thing because they have not learned this art, yogaha karmasu kaushalam. If we learn the simple things, live in this world in such a manner that don't destroy your inner peace to be destroyed. Now, for that, buddhi yukto jahati ha ube sukrita dushkrute. Now, what is the understanding in living? Be attentive. Whenever we work in this world, every interaction leaves either a mark of liking on our mind or a mark of disliking on our mind. There is no third mark. Suppose I like Rasgulla. When I get Rasgulla, then one is added to the liking. Suppose I don't like Bangan, and Bangan comes and lands in my plate innocently. Now I can't throw it being a Babaji. So I eat it and disliking goes deeper. Then I like a beautiful car and I get a car. So liking deep. I don't like to go by a truck, but sometimes I have to go by a truck. So disliking. In this manner, every interaction is leaving either liking or disliking. By the end of the day, we have created so deep fissures of liking and disliking that the equanimity of our mind is totally gone. Thereafter, whatever is the expression, it is not the expression of equanimity, but it is the expression of personal liking and disliking. Be attentive. For our liking and disliking, there is no logic. You ask somebody, the other day, one family I visited, and their house from inside was horrible. No painting. And when I saw, I said, hey, are you going to sell this house or what? Or is it a kiraya ka makan? They said, no, Swamiji, we are not able to decide what we should paint. She wants cream, light cream, and I want light pink. And on this we are not able to decide. So you tell what we should paint. I said, make it totally dark yellow. He says, Swamiji, you like yellow? I said, I don't like yellow. Then something is to be done. See how simple it is. Now you ask why you like the cream color. Ask why you like the pink color. There is no logic behind it. Many times, when I go for shopping somewhere in other countries, those people ask, Swamiji, which color you like? So for me, there is only one color. There is a question of thinking. So, whenever we interact with the world, we create liking and disliking. And if buddhi yuktaha, if we have this understanding that when we are living in this world, let us not create liking and disliking, but let us create wisdom. What is wisdom? When you learn from your own experience, that learning is called as wisdom. How important it is. The other day we were in Australia and we used to have morning meditation session somewhere in Melbourne or somewhere. And after the meditation sessions were over, one lady came and said, Swamiji, I can never believe that I can sit for 2 hours in meditation. In my whole life I never could do that. Maximum 5, 7, 10 minutes. I said, very good. Then I said, did you learn anything from this thing? She said, I have not learned. I am surprised. Now, if you can do it once, you can do it every day. Learn that. How it was done, we can do that. The day we start this process of learning in our life, be attentive. You will never become old. The sign of old age is we refuse to learn. The sign of young age, you are eager to learn in life. See the children, how they are eager to learn. IT for kids. IT kids. Those small fingers will go and they will play with their computer, all complicated programs. And you ask a father or a grandfather, he will buy the computer and watch from it. Beta, zara usko email marna. Why don't you do that? No, I am very much afraid. Is that computer going to bounce on you or what? But there is a fear of learning. Those who refuse to learn in their life, they have become old. Therefore, buddhi yukto jahati hai, ubhe sukrita dushkrute. We can keep the process of learning throughout life. And when you are learning every day from every experience, sukrita, dushkrita, papa, punya, the sin and the merit will never happen in your life. What is the sin and merit? When you learn the wrong or when you create a wrong impression on your mind, that is the sin. When you create a right impression on your mind, that is a merit. But both are only impressions. They will be a load on your mind. Wisdom is not an impression. And when you grow wise, you rise above the sin and the merit. The moment we have more of sin, the moment we have more of merit, what happens? When I have got more of sin, I live a life of guilt. All the time, feeling very low about ourselves, not able to look into the eyes of the others. From the eyes, it is very easy to detect what is going on inside. Those who have got some kind of intentions, good or bad, they are afraid of putting eyes together. They somehow or the other avoid. Because the load of guilt, the papa, the sins, And when we are leading a good life, something goody-goody, what happens? We start thinking ourselves to be superior than others. Thinking ourselves to be superior than others is the highest sin. On the contrary, if we live in such a manner that we neither create a guiltiness nor we create an arrogance of goodness, then alone we are growing wise. A wise person doesn't hate a sinner. A wise person does not have any special favor for a good person. For him, everything is equal. Therefore, here the teacher says, Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukrita vishkrute. He who lives with this understanding, he grows above the sin and the merit. Tasmad yogaya yujjasva. And therefore, live with this perfect understanding. And what is perfect understanding? Yogaha karmasu kaushalam. Function in the world, but don't allow your mind to be a deposition box of the garbage of impressions. Let the mind remain pure and clean. When this happens, what is the next steps? Karmajam buddhi yuktahi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinurmuktaha padam gacchanti anavayam. Buddhi yukta, those who are living with this proper understanding, karmajam phalam tyaktva, they are no more under the influence of guilt or arrogance. Guilt of something negative, arrogance something of positive. Both are the loads on our mind. So, manishinaha, who are those? Manishi means those who are living with understanding and with balance. So, manishinaha, karmajam phalam tyaktva, they are no more gathering the results of their karma in the form of likes and dislikes, sin or merit, guilt or arrogance on their mind. As a result, janma bandha vinirmuktaha, thereafter they lead a life of total freedom. What is a life of total freedom? What people will say. Many of us destroy our life under this foolish understanding, what people will say, what people will say. Are you not convinced of your own life? If you are convinced of your own life, live with that conviction and let the divinity start manifesting out of you. How long are we going to lead our life under the bondage and the pressure of he will say this, he will say that? No. Let the purity come forth with full force. Then alone great people are born. When Mahatma Gandhi took only langoti kind of lion cloth and an ordinary type of chappal and nothing special on him, everybody was thinking how this beggar from India will be able to manage in the round table conference in UK. And there Churchill has very strictly ordered, when that beggar from India comes, nobody needs stand and give him the position of a royal personality. And when that fakir from India went there, it was Churchill the first to get up and give him the respect. Friends, when you live with your convictions born out of inner divinity and purity, you don't require certificates from the world whether you are good or bad. To live in that dignity of purity is called as leading life sanctifically. Otherwise, all the time we are living our life under such terrible pressure. Whenever you live your life under pressure, you cannot laugh even properly. Like the other day somewhere, there was one person who was coming for the talks. And when some joke or something happens, he used to laugh so openly, he couldn't control. And after everything was over, he went ahead He didn't even say hello, Swamiji, went ahead. And then one of the persons who organized, he said, Swamiji, have you seen that man? I said, which man? Oh, he was laughing so much. I said, yes. Shall I tell him from tomorrow not to come? I said, why? Laughing is prohibited or what? He said, no, Swamiji, he was laughing so much. I said, if somebody should not come, you don't come. He who cannot laugh open-heartedly, he is not a human being. For us, even laughing is etiquette. Third class. Forget laughing. Many people, when they sneeze, in sneezing the joy is Hachi. What a joy in that. But they take the tissue paper, put inside and plug it. Ram, is that the life? Can't be expressed cheerfully. Similarly, many times, people after taking food in India, they express gratitude to the Lord, Nirgun Nirakar Brahma. And therefore, it is a biological, In that, what kinds of etiquettes and what that? Let us learn to allow the inner purity to come out totally. So, here, unless we have learned this, Janma bandhami nirmuktaha, otherwise we are all the time living in bondage. Janma bandha means we live, but we live in bondage. I am not giving you the other kind of understanding. You will again born next life, and then again you will continue. Oh, very good. There is no end, so I will continue. Agle baar dekh lenge. This is one of the tragedy of the Hindus. They are sure, if I cannot know the God in this life, never mind, agle time. And they continue to be a wretched life. Therefore, janma bandhavi nirmuktaha, that means we don't live our present life under the bondage of this inner chaos or turmoil. Janma bandhavi nirmuktaha, padam gachanti anamayam. They attain that state of being which is free from all psychological breakdowns. Many of us, nay, most of us, one day or the other, one time or the other, come under the pressure of our own wrong thinking. And once the process of wrong thinking is set in, we are carried away by our own wrong thoughts. And when our wrong thoughts are taking us away from our own self, immediately it is reflected on the tejas, on the glow of your face and on the glow on your own eyes. Because there is a big vacant look. There is a kind of frustration, kind of depression. So, padam gachanti anamayam. Here Bhagavan says, those who live with this understanding, they will remain always cheerful. And nothing in this world will create a sense of depression, a psychological crisis. Therefore, in India, you must be seeing the urchins here in our Bombay. Look at those, they have nothing. But see the smile on their face. And in Delhi it happened, one girl, we were going somewhere, a small girl, about 10, 12 years, please give something to eat and all that. So I said, look here, I will give you a job, a house to stay, all comforts, you learn also, and you stay there 24 hours. Come, I will take you. If you have to give me, give some money, that's it. Then I asked, what is the reason you don't want to come? Who will come there and remain in the bondage all the time, 24 hours? Here we are totally free. We come and ask, you give, you give. If you don't give, who care? Other will give. There are many fools. Very clear. If we can live with that freedom, life with that freedom is worth living. Friends, the bondage we have created on ourselves. frustration, depression, dejection, misunderstanding, expectation, hope, insult, honor, success, failure, worries. How many loads we are carrying on our mind. And then we say, I don't know why God has sent all the miseries to me. Because you are freely available. See, miseries are sent to those who receive the miseries with honor. If you dishonor them, nobody will send them to you. Therefore, karmajam buddhiyukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchanti anamayam. So, amayam is the disease. Anamayam is freedom from disease. Friends, physical disease is not that problematic as the mental disease is. See, in physical disease, you get kind of sympathy and help from the world. Suppose you have got a polio and you want to get into the bus or a train, and if you are struggling there, anybody will come and help you and take you inside. Because handicapped. But if you are having a mental disease, people will make fun of you. Pagal hai, dur hai. Think. So real disease is not the physical ailment. The real disease is the mental perversion with which we live in this world. And those who are mentally perverted, they themselves are not happy. And nobody is happy by their presence. Friends, such people are ashamed of their own existence. Do we call that as a life? You may be physically hefty. You may be monetarily very rich. But psychologically, totally wretched personality, a perverted existence. Therefore, padam gacchanti anamayam means we come to live that kind of life where we have a fulfillment of our being. Just imagine if anybody has to ask you, this is the time for your departure. Are you ready? What will be our reply? No, not now. I got to do a lot of work in this world. That means, krutokrutyascha bharata, we have not attained fulfillment. Whenever you have yet to do something in this world, you are incomplete. On the contrary, if the death comes to you and says, come on, we should be able to roar back, hey, why are you late? Do we have that freedom? That is called as padam gacchanti anamayam, leading life without any psychological breakup. So, janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchanti anamayam. And further the teacher says, yada te moha kalilam buddhirvati tarishati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. Yada, that moment onwards, when your understanding remains unclouded, no situation can corrupt your perception. No situation can make you disbalanced. No temptation can purchase your wisdom. That man of perfect understanding, yadati moha kalilam buddhirvati tarishati. Moha kalila means the mud of confusion. When our life is so confused, we can achieve nothing in life. On the contrary, the moment we have gone beyond the mud of confusion from our mind, then tada gantasi nirvedam, you have attained that state wherein you are totally free to laugh out at the world. We can laugh only when we have the courage inside. First. Second, we can laugh only when we are really happy inside. Third, we are able to laugh only when we have nothing to get from the world. Otherwise, what will people say? So, tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. For such a person, there is nothing to ask from the world. The other day, one lady asked me this question, Swamiji, I have been going for satsang for so many years. And I have started lately feeling that I am realized. And because of that, now I don't do anything at home. Servants are there, they do. So, I want your opinion. I said, my opinion about servants' opinion about you or what? No, about my realization. I said, Amma, look here, I am not realized. So how can it you? Oh, you are not realized, that's right. I said, I don't know what is realization, how do I know? Then whom should I ask? I said, you go and ask some realized person. Do you have the addresses? I said, look here, realized people have no questions. And because they have no questions, they don't leave addresses behind. Are you hinting at something? I said, if you are wise enough, you catch it. If you are otherwise, you leave it. So, tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya srutasya cha. When we have to ask, see, we are not children. Like the mother tells the child, beta, now your stomach is full, don't eat. No, mommy, I want to eat more. No, now your stomach is full. And the child, maybe, mommy is telling stomach may be full. We don't have to take opinions of others. Whether I know myself or not, first principle. Second principle, I don't have to justify before others. Arey world, Baba, may realize, oh, no need. It is not a declaration to be signed. Therefore, tada gantasi nirvedam. Nirvedam is total dispassion. We don't require anybody's recognition. Shrotavyasya srutasya cha. Nor we want to hear some great words from others, nor we want to tell the people something great. Leading in that total freedom is worth living in this world. Otherwise, we live in bondage of our own confusion throughout life. Friends, all of us are the victims of our own wrong thinking. The moment you change your thinking, the life changes. And what is the wrong thinking? Thinking from the relative standpoint. The moment you change your perception of the world, instead of looking at the world as we are looking at the world, let us look at the world as the God is looking at the world. We also look at the world and suffer. The Lord also looks at the world and enjoys. What is the difference? The angle. Let us change our angle. Like if you take my picture from the lower angle, upper angle and the middle angle, the perception will be different. When you take from the lower angle, I will be looking very tall. If you take from the above angle, I will be looking very shorty. And if you take from the right angle, then only the right perception will come. In the same manner, when we look at this world from the wrong angle of our own frustration, depression, dejection, this world is full of miseries, problems and frustration. Positive side we are not ready to see. See, very important. Like in our media you take. Anything happens here and there, good things, they become secondary news. Somewhere in a small column. India has developed such wonderful aeroplanes to shoot from a distance. That becomes only one liner in one corner. But somewhere 30-40 people are killed. It becomes a national bonanza. Oh, the great achievement of Indian people. When we are providing the negative psyche to the society, what can be achieved in life? Therefore, only reporting is not the purpose of the journalism. Also one has to take care of the total psyche of the society. If that is not nurtured by the journalist, who will do that? And this is what is the difference of our scriptures. They are taking care of the total psychology of the society. Therefore, Jadate moha kalilam buddhirvati tarishati. We are confused about what should be reported, what should not be reported. If you go on again and again telling positive things, the whole psychology will change and we will become confident and courageous to achieve something great. But all the time only negative, negative, negative. The same thing happens at the home level. To our children, we hesitate to tell some good points. But when something wrong is done, we blow it out of proportion. You always do like that. That word always should be deleted from your language. Once in a while the child does a mistake. But our appreciation is, you always do like that. And if the child has done something good, oh, once in a while you do good. That becomes once in a while. But when something is bad, always you do good. This kind of moha kalila, the wrong understanding of the whole situation creates problem. And further, Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyate nischala samadhavachala buddhi tada yogam avapsasi. Therefore, hey Arjun, te Shruti vipratipanna buddhi nischala sthasyati. When we have been hearing so much, is very important topic, be attentive. More the information you have in your life, you lose the charm of life. Have only that much information which is required. Now what is happening, if you see the children staying in the villages and small towns, and the children staying in big cities, and the children staying in overdeveloped countries, you will see to what kind of information they are exposed. More the information the children carry than they should. The innocence is burnt away in that fire of excessive information. There is nothing new for them to look forward to. And the children who are growing with that rhythm of their mental growth as well as the information that is provided, slowly they grow with awe, with surprises, with joy, with innocence. But when the child is hardly 5-10 years and he knows everything, you cannot talk to that child. Then you have to talk to that child in the graveness of a grown-up person. I remember one day there was a child, very intelligent child, and his mother told, see, you wanted to ask so many questions, now we are driving home, so you ask Swamiji questions. I was sitting in the front seat, he was sitting back side, and started asking, Swamiji, can you tell me what is the distance between sun and earth? I said, I don't know. I'll tell you. And he started telling all the distances, all the speeds of the various planets and everything, a child of 7-8 years of age. Now that child who knows so much information, do you think he can live the childhood with the innocence of a child? He cannot. You know what is happening? Excessive information provision. We are opening the bud by giving chemical injections so fast so that we get the flowers bloomed out of a bud in a click of a moment. The result is the inner fragrance and the beauty can never happen in that bud which is opened forcibly within a very short period of time. On the contrary, if the things go with the rhythm of our life's growth, if you are 10 years by body, we should be 10 years by mind. If you are 15 years by body, we should be 15 years by mind. If we are 20 years by body, we should be 20 years by mind. But now what happens? I am 10 years by body and 70 years by mind. Now, the speed of the body and the speed of the mind, they are not comparable. Result is, when I become 15, 20, I have no patience for anything. Like we see in the serials, cartoon serials. There the cartoon comes and a button is pressed and wing, he goes directly into the heavens. And the child develops that kind of mind. When I want something, mummy should give me instantaneously. Mummy is not a cartoon from the show. He is a real cartoon. It cannot happen. And the result is thereafter, the children lose patience. You know, the disease of prosperity is lack of patience. We have no patience for anything. We want the things to happen instantaneously. Therefore, coffee instant, tea instant, dahi instant, and love instant, divorce instant. Everything instant we want. And therefore, every instant we are miserable. Therefore, here the teacher says, Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasati nischala. By hearing, collecting so much information, we have become so confused and chaos that there is nothing to look forward to. How important it is. If I get, let us take sweets, only on a particular festival day. On Dashera, in our house, we prepare Srikhanda. Not every day. So what happens? Now how many days Dashera, mummy? 15 days. So 15 days the child is anxiously waiting for eating the Srikhanda. And when the Srikhanda comes after waiting for 15 days, then he really enjoys. Here, mummy, I want Srikhanda. Okay, dial Srikhanda. Thereafter, mummy, I want pizza. Okay, dial pizza. After some time, the novelty, the charm, the joy of waiting is gone. Friends, the real joy is not in reaching the destination. The real joy is walking the path. But this we don't understand. Because Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasati nischala. The moment we have the wisdom that we curtail ourselves from accumulating unwanted, uncalled for information, you will see the life's beauty is maintained. There was one girl, her parents, this happened in US, her parents were searching a boy for her, and she was born and brought up there. It is not her fault. So she was all the time arguing with the parents. What is wrong if I go for dating with a boy? And unless I know him, I experience him, how can I live with him whole life? I don't want to get married to an unknown boy showing from a distance. I don't like that. Now Indian parents, they didn't agree. So the mother and father on one side and the daughter on the jagada constantly. So we are the bali offered for no reason. And when I was talking to that girl, I said, look here. These experiments of dating and getting married are conducted in the Western society for so many years. You have the data. How many dated continue to be husband and wife for how many days? 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. Then they break. Then again dating. Whole life goes only on dating and dotting and nothing else. You take your mother and father, ask them, before marriage, where they going for dating, ask them, they will even not look at each other. And yet, they are maintaining the beauty of their life. So if you cannot learn from the experiments conducted by the world, you can never learn from your own experiences. Go further. When you have nothing as a surprise, nothing, something great awaiting you after marriage, and you have already lived the lowest kind of life, then the question comes, what is great in marriage? There is nothing to look forward to. And such people, they get married, but they do not have the charm and the joy of married life. Because Shruti Vipratipannate, before marriage they have known and done everything in their life. That is why it is very essential. We must not give uncalled for information to anybody if he doesn't qualify. But modern psychology, children should start knowing everything from the age of 5, 7, 8. It is not necessary to know about reproduction by the children even till they get married, not necessary. Animals don't know, but that doesn't mean they do not know reproduction. This is nature's game, it is going on. But when without self-control, you are exposing them to all uncalled for information, that information is wrongly utilized, and we understand this is called as freedom and this is called as prosperity. Friends, this is not prosperity, this is perversion dignified under the name of freedom. Therefore, Shruti Vipratipannate yanathasati nishala. When you are able to control, sieve the information that is coming to you, then tada yogam avapsasi samadhau achala. Then you will be able to be steadfast. You will not get corrupted by anything said to you by anybody. Many of us make our opinion about the world only by the hearsay. Somebody said he is like that, we start believing. Can't we have our own assessment about every person? Can't we have that intuitive understanding? But we get carried away by the words said by somebody about something. And those people who make opinions about others by only listening from others, they themselves are weaklings. Have your own strength to decide what is what. Then alone we can lead a life of steadfast understanding. Otherwise, in this world, it is impossible to live with proper quietness and proper understanding. Therefore, the ultimate the teacher reaches at is, let our thinking process, attitude, lifestyle be such that we do not get corrupted in our assessment of the world, in our assessment of our life by the outer forces. And our knowledge remains steadfast and equanimous in spite of every odd that comes. And once this happens, you will see in any turmoil, you will be able to negotiate without any problem. Something like when the driver is perfect, he is not excited, he is not making prestige issue, he is not afraid. Whatever may be the chaotic condition of the traffic, he goes through cheerfully and happily. But many a times when people drive the car, frustrated in anger, I will go in front of him, what he thinks of himself, my car is new, recently purchased, like that. And if somebody says, what do you think, take 200 rupees, what do you think, I am a son of a magister. Minister, no, magister. This kind of prestige issue when somebody makes, he cannot make a good driver. In the same manner, let us lead the life with proper understanding, coolness, with the dignity of joy within and perfection without. When this is said, on this Arjuna asks a question. Is it ever possible? And with this, tomorrow, the question and the answer given by the Lord, we will conclude this second chapter of Gita in the series of the scientific art of living. Enough for the day. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha
Harihi Om.